Anyways, in the last session, the group officially landed in Eremos, waited a few days at a newly built, kind of like co-op research center built by, um, or built at the behest of Renee Lauder by um, Otto Bendelli for the purposes of joint development between Gaspiage and Mosen, or Eremos scientists. Spent some time there, got some clothes fit for the environment before your rides arrived. It was a less than a week trip to the city of Patrida. You all arrived late in the evening as trains were coming in and people were heading to bed. We're taken immediately over to. We're taken immediately over to. This song one right here. Sorry. Taken immediately over to the egress ward for the visitor center, which is full of amenities. Bathhouses, gyms, anything you can ask for within a visitor center. You can take the evening to eat some dinner and then rest. Few of you woke up early, the first one being Lucian, who went out to get some coffee, picked up on the scent of something familiar to Lucian's recollection. It was a scent that had been picked up during the investigations of the art gallery robbery. It was a scent that belonged to Vincent Rowan's cologne that was utilized. Following it, Lucian saw Norman and an unnamed member of Vincent's team exit a dune shredder at an alleyway and enter. Lucian followed to try and observe them, did not roll well for hiding, was seemingly spotted but ignored, and then upon trying to approach his hatch was cornered by Norman, and then held at gunpoint and said, well, you're here now. If you want to talk, you're going to talk with us on our terms. Down in the cellar, please. On the flip side, a large group went toward the Gyre Ward in the center to try and find some leads at mainly historical or cultural locations that might have been places Vincent has visited before. Trying to eavesdrop on conversations did not go too well for, at least for Lexi at the time. And as such, beyond gleaming the general construction of this spire, the Tower of Solidarity that was encountered, not much was gleaned from the location. The lot then began to make their way towards the Patridian Memory Vault, while Nasir and Drew, on the wrong trip, went to the Menage Ward. Drew got there, said, "This is not where I need to be right now," and then got back on a ride back to the Gyre Ward. Nasir went to visit their family, and has been doing that, or is in that process of doing that actively at this current moment. We ended with Lucian having a conversation with Vincent about him possibly wanting to join their team, and Vincent telling him that once you follow us to this first major landmark I think we're going to discover, if you choose to continue following after that, then by all means you can join us, because having people that are willing and aware is always a boon. However, I strongly recommend you follow first before you decide, because it may change your mind, and it may, drive you possibly insane in some regards, because it is a lot according to what Vincent has. It's something he's not even completely certain about at this current time. They tied up Lucy and said, "We can't just let you go, so I'm going to leave a little note for your friend at the visitor center telling them where to find you, but we're going to leave you down here and hit the road to our location." And Lucian said, "Before you do that, just not mess you up a little bit, knock me around a little bit, guys." And Andre's like, "All right, just say no more." Put on a big, steam-powered, what looks to be like something for people that have muscle or bone breakages that are able to lose the full strength of their muscles, like a bodily enhancement kind of device, almost like like those mechanical like leg braces, but for his arm, and he put that on, powered it on with some clicks of the switches, and then nailed Lucian across the jaw, knocking him unconscious. That's actually where we left off, was Lucian getting knocked the fuck out. So that being the case, we will... I'm going to delete Drew being here until Jose arrives, and just have everyone else be in the gyro except for the ones that aren't. We pick up now with everyone, save for Nasir and Lucian, in the gyro ward. This group particularly being inside of the Petredan Memory Vault. A large structure, kind of open domed entrance, that kind of like a domed building that is kind of... It's circular. It's a domed circular building. Not much of any gates or doors. It's just a large entrance you walk through, and in certain rooms filled with information and objects pertaining to one particular event or story, namely. And since this one is for Petrita, I mean, Jaleel will tell you, but he's not here, that the ones of Petrita are usually more for the Mosin people as opposed to the people of Petrita themselves when it comes to their history and their people's memories. This is more of a culture as a whole for Aramos, as opposed to anything super nuanced. And so we pick up there, with your group currently inside that structure.
Quick question, because
Yes.
I know he's still gone. I would also ask Jaleel about the stone and what type of stone the obelisk is.
That's a Drew question.
Drew, okay.
Unfortunately, that'd be a Drew question.
He's also not here.
He needs to
He
roll
hasn't
for
been
that.
here.
Yeah, he needs to roll for
He
that
has
one.
not been here last session either, so...
Jose was here.
Yeah.
Targ wasn't here. Jose was here, but Targ wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jose went up to the Menage with Nasir, and they was like, "This is the wrong place," and came back to the gyro ward. He's like, "This is not where the biddies are." I'm trying to talk
Can
to
you
someone.
You have somebody roll for him then?
I can roll for Drew.
Because I don't want to have my game interrupted because of people not wanting to show up. So...
Let's see here. For Drew. You're getting tones with an extra D10 added to it. But it rolls public because player. Drew, and then features, structural analysis. D10 for free. Not the quotes, please. Okay. Drew would inform you, like in passing, as he's kind of trying to find some sort of government building to talk to someone, would inform that just taking time looking over at the tower, the rock that it's made of appears to be... Let me see if I find the right word for this. Question mark. This over here? That's what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to make sure I get this word right. Because I found it. This one and this one. Not that one. Is it this? Sorry, there's two rocks. I'm trying to make sure this is the right one because there's two different rocks here.
Gotcha.
This one here. Is that word? I hope I pronounced this word right before I say anything incorrect. It is called... I could be pronouncing it wrong. It is called... he wants to say, because, rock study, stone study. It is called chondrite, I believe. I'll put it in chat. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Chondrite.
Chondrite.
But yeah, that's chondrite. Actually, I've looked at that one before.
What, chondrite?
Is that what's pronounced chondrite?
C-H-O-N?
Yeah, chondrite. Sorry, I said chondrite.
Chondrite.
Yeah, not chondrite. I'm stupid to chondrite. It makes way more sense. I think it was found. It might be here in the near future. But yeah, it's called Chondrite. I read about it in a book once or twice, but stuff that I use for my building, so didn't pay too much notice to it. All right, good luck with you guys. I'm gonna go try and find someone to talk to about, I don't know, making information links or something.
Quick question: is it bluish purple?
It is more of a bluish gray.
Bluish gray. Okay. And you're not trying to go for realistic here, like on the actual rock, right?
Not entirely, no.
Okay, because the only reason why I say that is because chondrite in itself is generally brown-gray because it has iron deposits in it, and if you have chondrodite, it has quartz interwoven into the iron deposits as well, which would make it even more brown. But if the only thing that would be more bluish, but it's more lilac blue and more like lilac blue and purple, would be carolite.
I should look more into my rocks when I made this.
You had a lot of fucking geology classes in college, dude.
I don't know a lot about rock. I saw one picture. I was like, oh, that looks about like a blue gray.
You know my type
blue.
of autism.
I guess you'd rather just say it's from a blue purple than a blue gray, but like it was formerly more. Is that what they call like a blue purple? Is that what it is? I don't know. See, the ones that picture I saw when I first looked up were all blue gray colors, so I gave it the blue gray descriptor.
Send a picture in chat. Like, genuinely, just send a picture in chat, and I actually might be able to tell you what type it is if you want something good morning.
I got you guys. This is what chondrite in the pictures I saw. Except for this one. This one has more of the iron. I see this one has more of the brown in it. But that was the first picture I saw. Was this one when I was looking it up? That was the first picture I saw. Was this one?
Yeah, it's carbonaceous chondrite.
Ah.
What do you know this?
It has high carbon deposits in it. So basically, when it's formed, it's generally formed on beds where there could be fossils, but they actually don't fossilize correctly, and so they just kind of break down but become part of the rock. And it's generally like plants and stuff like that, plant matter. Technically, you can find a lot of carbonaceous chondrite right before you strike oil.
Huh.
Mason, what do you know these things?
I'm autistic, okay? I can also name almost every tree with their scientific name in Michigan, and every fish.
Fair enough. Carry on.
So we go over to, actually, I believe the one that wanted to come here the most was Christian, but Christian had vanished at the end of the last session. So, Yuri, you were the first one inside of the Patrita Memory Vault. What would you care to do as the rest of the group begins to kind of follow to catch up to you?
Oh boy. Let me pull up my obsidian.
Forgot you had a obsidian Docker foundry.
Yeah, Yuri's archive right here. It's very important. I also have a timeline I'm working.
Nice.
Alright, so my connection, the reason I even know about the memory vault is because of the Star Guide. I want to go to the Star Guide.
By all means, let me make sure I pull it up. This one? Here we go, this one over here. I have 3 tabs for this game at all times. I can easily scroll through different sections of the document without losing my other previous bookmarks. Like, I have the tab, but this makes it easier to just go, like, okay, I can just click on this one. I know this is the right tab to be at. You are looking for the Star Guide. There it is. Found it. Found it. I will say... While this is happening, I would like Alexander to really roll me intelligence or wisdom just to get a general lay of the room and the overall area, seeing as you are more of the observant type. But you do find the Star Guide, Yuri. The Star Guide... I didn't grab any water before I came in here. The Star Guide itself is in its own little, of course, side section. It looks to be an object, a stone slab with artistic, of course, like map-like carvings into it. The stone is weathered and old. The scrawling beneath this Star Guide reads, in both a language you can read and, of course, the native tongue of Eremos, it reads, the map of the first explorer, which is, of course, the name translated, and their family used to traverse Eremos. When the explorer left, they passed the map down to their kin, so that they too may find a star that guides them. and there are many different little stars marked across the map at different points across what looks to be. I mean, if you were to overlay it with the modern map of today, it is the same map of the modern day. However, it is of course, there's no landmarks, no railways or anything like that. It is just a blank map with different stars placed around at different locations across the map.
I see. Damn, that's a tough. I don't think I have enough astrological information in Yuri's mind to immediately understand this.
Roll me an intelligence standing check, please.
The moon haunts me.
With the 25 Alexandria, looking around, it is not fairly crowded, but everyone, of course, is wearing things that kind of protect their body and their head and hair from sand, so it's hard to get the lay of anyone in the room in particular or anything that stands out. Because it's not... Most rooms are themselves lit, but the large interior, kind of like central point of the building is not in any way lit. So you're kind of like looking at people through shadows or different doorways through like shadow and darkness, so it's kind of hard to get a gleam of anything in particular. Look at the map for a second, and like a few points, not a few, like one point kind of needs to stand out to you for a few seconds, but there's nothing really. No, nothing happens. You just look at the map and a few points are like, oh, these are... I think I know these locations, and then, you know, like, I think maybe I've seen a constellation like this, you're not too sure. Maybe it's a constellation there, maybe it's like it's kind of like there, but it's not. It's like maybe you've seen it in a book, like a kid's book you had when you were growing up, maybe you saw it like on a projector or something. It's hard to, like I feel like I've seen something in this somewhere. It's just this recollection, like a nostalgia recollection, but it fades relatively quickly.
I want to pull out the stars above us and see the actual design of the book itself.
Okay. You pull the stars above us. Is it going to be to try and compare different pages of the book as a whole? Nothing stands out, really.
Damn. Alright, I'll pull out Wild's journal.
And which journal?
Juniper Wild's.
Okay. Sweet. Roll me a D100, please.
Fellas, it's good to be alive. I sure hope nothing stops that.
15. Let's see here. No, nothing happens. You pull the journal. This is just an empty journal after all. All the pages are already torn out.
Yeah.
You pull it out, kind of flip through any of the pages. Flip through the front and the back of the book and kind of look it over. You know, beyond the empty pages that are there, it's nothing to be gleaned.
I'm trying to remember how I even found out about the star guy. Who did I talk to about it? Well, technically speaking, my main reason to come here is kind of... I'll just explore the memory vaults. So.
Tark's here.
Yeah.
Jaleel. Tark dead as hell.
Tark's not here.
What shoes he got on? You know... Oh, this year's not here. Let's see. Who else we have? In this group, it is... Tark is here. Alright. Your group is currently in the Petrudian memory vault. Oh my gosh, you've missed so much, Tark. Oh my gosh! It just hit me. I was gonna give him. I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're right here, bro." Tarek.
Yeah.
You guys are at Eremos, bro.
I think I remember hearing that. What's
You guys were I think you guys were going to get on the plane last time, and then you despawned. And you haven't heard from you since.
Yeah.
You guys are in Eremos now.
Yeah.
You guys are currently in Petrita inside of the memory vault right now, looking at the Star Guide, which apparently belonged to someone named the First Explorer.
The first explorer.
Yeah, I mean that's what the name means. That's the name in a tongue people from Gaspiash can speak. For you, because you're from Eremos, I will whisper you the name of this person that it is, as it is in your native tongue, because it has a different meaning.
Oh.
There you go. Also, I need Marlon, since you're here as well, because why not? I need you to also roll me a wisdom or intelligence check to keep watch of the area. Because why not?
Wisdom or intelligence. Marlon isn't smart.
Oh, you're not on Foundry yet, Tar. I'll DM it to you because you're not on Foundry yet. That's the name. That's the name in.
So what or intelligence?
Wisdom or intelligence.
Yeah, a lot of us Gaspiage guys, for the vast majority of the times, we're not going to know a lot of this shit. So.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well, you were on your home turf back then, but now everything is different.
Yeah.
52.
Can't even read the damn language.
Luckily, you got Jaleel there to translate for you. So
Yeah.
for the sake of all things, whenever I describe anything that's like I'm reading out loud, assume it's Jaleel reading out loud for you guys translating.
Sounds good.
Just for the sake of this right now. Unless anyone wants to take the time to pick up like a Eremos language 101 book. Learn Motorschmel in your free time.
No, thanks. Nope.
Wow. 52. You, Marlon, spot a little across the way. Looks to be Wesley C. Adams. That old fellow from Interlock. It's currently here as well.
Who?
The dude from the airship? Also the dude that's been on the tape and on the back of the tape?
Oh, right. Look.
You see them here as well.
It's just Wesley C. Adams is here?
Yeah, he's here. He's currently talking with someone right now, but he's here.
Oh, I didn't have anything for him, did I?
And Jane now says, "Guys, WCA's Wesley Adams! Guys, WCA's Wesley Adams! That's Tim!"
Yeah, but
No, I'm saying you never told. I'm saying because you never told the group. I told them for you because you never told the group that WCA stood for Wesley C. Adams. I told them for you.
I thought I did.
You never did. I had to tell them for you. You forgot again. So I was like, guys, by the way, Jacob told you that WCA stands for Wesley C. Adams.
No, I swear.
Nope.
I said something
I reminded you that you forgot again that very session before the end of it. And you're like, damn, I didn't tell him this session. Damn, I'll tell him next session. And then you were gone next session.
Right?
You never told them, so I had to tell you. I'd have you as yourself tell Alexi to tell the party with the name meant.
Because I went to go ask Ida about it.
Yup. And then the next session you were gone. That was the session of the Skycard unveiling.
No, I was there.
No, you were there for the beginning of it, but for the second half of it, you weren't there. And so I had you. I had you tell Alexi, and then Alexi tell the rest of the group. But I think it's a great idea. Like, why is he Adams? I don't think I have anything. I have like this guy. He's gonna be like, guys, by the way, I forgot to tell you 3 sessions ago. WCA. And then everyone's like, yes, Jay, we know. Man, you spot him across the way,
chatting.
chatting.
Ask him at this point.
Yeah, you see him. Well, he's not like near you. He's across the large interior room or building. Looks to be walking and chatting with someone as they walk further in.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, I just don't know what to do with that information in all honesty. He's just there, I guess.
What Alexi noticed with Alexi C. Adams?
Roll me. You're good. Oh, you're good at spotting. Yes, roll me intelligence or wisdom. You're good at spotting. Use this for one of your spotting checks that you have. The bonuses for.
That's my whole role as a lookout. So.
Did anyone even talk to him on the ship? Because I think he was on the ship, right?
Yeah. Drew talked to him for a bit, and so did Yuri talk to him for a bit. Both of them had a chat with him.
Okay.
believe you do still have that extra free D10, if I recall correctly.
I do. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but we're gonna go.
Well, I mean, like the free wool. Don't you have the extra free wool pool bonus roll that I gave you guys a long time ago? We got like you're at like 4 out of 3. I'm pretty sure, something like that.
Oh yeah.
So you just have that extra bonus wool pool until you use it. That lasts.
So I'm gonna use this. 10, perfect. So that's 27. I'm gonna use my lookout as well.
Okay.
Alright, so that's gonna be.
Jay, your mic is like digital.
Oh shit, my bad. I thought I had hit the mute button. My bad.
You're good. 22, 32. I will say you can re-roll the original check again and then add the 15 to that, because I'll say since you do see.
It's actually 37 because I have a +5 to lookout with my steady footing. So.
Roll an advantage though, because you would see there. I mean, currently it's not just you. It is you, Marlon, and Alexander all keeping watch of just the area, while Yuri, Jaleel, and I guess Customino are looking over the star guide because he'll be not here either. Just
Okay,
roll.
so add that 10 and a 5 for the advantage roll then.
Yep.
Once I get the thing here. So okay, so that's gonna be 66.
Okay. I'd say you spot Alexandra looking off in a direction. She seems to be watching that area. You see Marlon looking, squints for a second. You look over there, see nothing. Then you double take as Marlon keeps watching, almost like he's trailing someone walking. And you would also spot West CC Adams and some other individual walking and chatting right now as they walk further into the memory vault.
I see.
At this point as well, Alexander, you would spot both Marlon and Alexi have clocked this individual as you're also keeping watch. The three of you all would see this person kind of, I say person, this very important person.
I'll probably join up in the trailing.
Are you gonna follow them? Well, they're not following them. It's just you guys spot them across the way. No one's following them right now. It's just him and talking to some other person right now while they're both walking, but no one's following.
Yeah.
This is like across the building while you guys are in the other one currently in the other room.
I want to see where he's headed.
Okay. It's hard to, of course, I see it's getting hard to read some of the things, but he does look like he's heading to one of the where is it? It appears as though he's heading to a room more dedicated to presumably more delicate items like paper-based or like anything like an archive of sorts. It'd be like an archive or a library of sorts. But like imagine like the library of like Alexandria or something, like an old library, like the Vatican Archives type library, as opposed to like anybody can just walk into, like all the old, or they keep a bunch of the older books and documents.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I want to kind of like halfway trail him, just in the idea of seeing exactly what he's going for in there.
Okay. Is anyone joining Alexi in this endeavor?
Am I there?
You're currently with Yuri looking at the star guide.
Oh.
I mean, you're there. You're there with them, but you Yuri are looking at the star guide, and then behind you are Marlon, Alexandra, Alexi looking off, kind of just keeping a general lay of the area.
Okay.
So you could join if you wanted to break off from the stuff with Yuri, or you could continue with Yuri and then someone else can
Catch
join
up.
us. Yeah.
Wait, what are you doing, Alexi?
I'm currently I'm gonna say this quietly, but I'm saying WCA is heading to a specific room, and I would like to see what he's looking at specifically.
I was so not expecting you to do that in character because I just think we say you do before. I don't even fucking guess what. I'll go with them.
But you, Alexandra.
Where you do something a little crazy.
I'll follow behind.
Okay, the three of you begin to trail off after Wesley. I'd say at this point, while you're talking with, we're gonna go back to Yuri and of course Jaleel. But as you guys are talking, and kind of, I guess as Jaleel's translating for you, Yuri, you turn while you're listening and see that Alexandra, Alexi, and Marlon are walking off right now as you're being translated what the star guide says.
Womp womp.
But Jaleel and Yuri, what are you two discussing at this current point in time? Now that target's here officially for you.
So the star guide is tied in with the probably like the myths and like the religions of the area. Yeah.
Potentially. I'd say it is more tied into the astrological, more broad
Like time
theological.
being-
It's a more broad theological and, I guess, spiritual piece than it is anything. Some people take it very literally as just like a chart of stars to look at or places to see different constellations. Others look at it as more of a theological or spiritual journey to go to these locations. It really depends on the individual that views the star guide. Because it is very old. It is from an individual that you translated to Yuri to mean, the first explorer.
Hmm.
What are the two of you discussing at this point? Is they're both looking over this item, and others have kind of peeled off in a different direction.
I don't even know Jalila's capabilities. I've seen the guy throw a squirrel once.
Where,
Squirrel, aim for rectum.
what are we in who are we chasing in Eremos? Are we still chasing that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, Chris has found them, got knocked out, and we got a little bit of information, but not for the rest of us in character.
Yeah, Chris got taken hostage. He was trying to follow them, and they ambushed him and kind of held him at gunpoint and had him out for questioning.
Didn't Chris ask them to knock him out?
He did ask him to knock him out, but he was punched really hard, and his last words were "No, wait a minute," and he got hit across the jaw because it was a physically automated punch from a very large man.
Wait.
I said, "Knock me out now, break my jaw."
Don't fucking kill me!
It probably shouldn't. Probably. Mink. Yes, you're still following Vincent and his team, who have, according to your understanding of general travel, either are here or will be in the city soon, or in Eremos soon.
How did we find out they're gonna be here?
You assumed as much because he said to follow, and there's a picture. He didn't leave it, but there's a picture of. Is it in the notes section? It's not. There's a picture that was left behind at the lighthouse when you first confronted him.
Mm.
That had it was a circled portion of the sinking dunes of Eremos.
Mm.
I just still love how everyone's like, yeah, we'll take Alexi's boat and everything, and Alexi had no clue where they were going except they went by steamship, so he was just trying to follow the ship.
This is very true.
No
Yes.
clue that that map was in Eremos. Nothing.
So currently, Tar, to get you fully up to speed, after deciding that the boat was a bad idea, you guys said, "Oh, wait, the sky cart." And you guys managed to get tickets on board because of Cosmina, caught a flight to here, which was, I believe, a 2.5, 3-day trip total to cross the ocean, landed, dismounted, spent a night here, and then went separate ways as different groups to different places. And it seems as though Yuri had an interest in the memory vault, in particular the Star Guide.
With my background, would I be able to roll the check for any connections?
Check. I mean, you've got check your skills. Your class has skills you can utilize. Check your skills. You got to tell. I mean, I can pull it up for you and tell you what your skills are, but
I'm curious about like well, you were saying like everybody's got a different perspective on the general story or whatever that Star Guide kind of outlines. What rumors I would have come across or known about, like, there's always the older people that are like, no, the stories were real. It's not a metaphor.
It's not a metaphor. Absolutely. I believe I don't know what the skills are, but you should have some skill in your sheet that should be about ascertaining the use or something of an object, if I recall correctly. So
Yes, I do.
just find that in there. Whatever says to roll. I mean, whatever says you add to it. I believe for you, if you're gonna check, I'll allow you to roll either intelligence or wisdom, your choice, and then add whatever bonus you get to that.
Okay. Let me see. Checks may recall share. D10.
I for another bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I'll use. Well. I'm gonna hold out my little stone that I've got. Just inspect it and kind of hold it up to the ceiling and see if I make any connection to that. And that gives me
A reroll.
Yeah, 1% reroll in the next 24 hours. And
By all means.
I can ask.
Sorry,
Yeah.
No, continue, sorry. I'll explain after you finish your thing.
Well, I'd call over Yuri. What are you thinking of this? I hold up the stone and kind of hold it up to the. Is the star map on the ceiling?
No, it is on. It's currently right now. It's currently on the wall. It is a like a large book-sized object, kind of on the wall right now, like behind. Not really behind it, a glass case. It's kind of like imprinted in the wall. It's like they carved out a piece of the wall to fit it in there perfectly.
And it's a book.
It's a book-shaped, book-sized.
Oh, okay.
It was carved from stone, an old stone.
Nah, I'd hold it. I'll hold it by it, kind of look around and see if I can see any markings on like the side of the stone, and see if it looks any similar and draw any connections to the one I have.
Roll me a D100.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the fun. Oh.
35, and this is just to see if there's any connection between your stone and this object that you can notice. Okay. Add your intelligence to that. I'll say I'll make this intelligence check instead then.
Plus 3.
38.
Negative.
Okay, so you asked for two things. First, you asked for any like historical accounts of this object, and then you asked for any connections. Which one would you like to do in particular? In what order? Are you doing connections first, or historical recollections of the item?
Of the first, I'm just looking at the stone and seeing if there's if the markings are similarly etched. I have something else that I wanted to use for the.
Okay, gotcha. I will say then, looking at it in that perspective, you do not find any similarities in markings or carvings into the stone at all. And at least from this angle, of course, there's the whole backside of the object that is, solidified into the wall itself. But at least from the side that is being shown to the public, there's nothing that matches anything along those lines that you can see from the sides or the front.
And just slide it back into my coat pocket and my special pocket. I'll use my other ability to I'll lean closer and take a look at the object and see, is there writing on it, or is it just like
it's just
like depictions of symbols?
It looks to be a carving of like the world map, like the modern, like if you're again, like I said to everyone else, you were to take the modern world map, it's really just the modern world map with no markings or locations. It's just like the solid stone with the outline of the different continents and little like cross etched in stars, like that are kind of pencil carved into the stone itself, very thinly, of locations across that look to be little star spots.
Wow. I have an ability that involves understanding maps, directions. And I can add a D10 to recognizing. Oh, that's landmarks and terrain. Well, involve understanding that.
Back.
It returned.
And okay.
I mean, if you're real clever with it, you can do a few things with combining these rolls if you're real clever with it.
Yeah. I'll use my breakthrough.
Breakthrough first. All right, go ahead and roll me that percentile. If you succeed, you can ask me, or you can learn one conclusion.
Yeah,
discretion.
and I have a percentage reroll with my...
You do indeed, yeah.
The other one with the knowledge of the past. Am I rolling just the D100?
Yep, just flat D100 right now for this one. If you're not trying to do you got the reroll if you need it.
Oh,
no dice.
No dice.
Think hard on this, trying to get any kind of spark to connect, any threads in your mind to come together into a cohesive thought, and it's like there's a mental block there. As the thread begin to connect, something severs one, and you have to try and find a way around to reconnect them again, and something severs another one. It's kind of like wherever there's a piece you're trying to get to, another piece snaps because the string grows too taut to make that full connection.
Just stand back and kind of scratch my head. Nothing comes to mind of this subject for me. I've heard many stories, but this book, I don't quite know where to place it.
Christian's dead as hell. He got blown up.
Sorry if you guys hear my keyboard. I'm typing notes.
There you are.
Who's that?
That was Lucian. That was Jaleel talking to Yuri.
Say it again, Jaleel.
This book, there are no understandings that come to mind. I'm trying to think of what it recalls me of, but nothing.
Book?
He's a star
The
guy.
book, the stone. This thing here.
So you also felt something when you looked at it?
I don't know about felt. I've heard many stories of myths of my time and for me. Studied books and stories of travelers that have come before, but I don't know why I can't quite place where it is, what the meaning of this thing is directly to at least where it's come from.
I do not entirely understand it either. I have simply come here because of Juniper Wild.
We jump now to our little investigation team, trailing behind Wesley C. Adams.
Hell yeah.
If you're trying to do so inconspicuously, I'd require either a dexterity, honestly, any check you wish to make except for strength and constitution, to be honest, for trying to blend in. It can be dexterity for stealth, it can be intelligence to learn how to see how to best hide into a crowd, it can be wisdom for reading the room, of how people are moving, how they're looking. It can be charisma to just actually blend in. Any check but strength or constitution can be utilized to try and trail this person.
What, man? Strength's my forte.
Start flexing. They turn around. I think they're following. Nope, no one followed me. I'm fine.
Can I use lookout for reading the room as well?
I will allow that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm glad I'm going to be using lookout.
And I believe Alexander gets a bonus because of being the mole for wearing proper attire, if I recall correctly.
So that's 35.
I heard that trailing someone is Lizzie's exact forte in this regard. That I look at because you have where is it? Oh, it's not in here. Not in here. Where is it? I gotta find it.
Keep in mind, Gabe, though, when I was in the airship, I was under a blanket for like the vast majority of the entire time.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was terrified of flying.
Oh, right. My guess was going to be were you drunk the whole time, but yeah, that too.
Oh yeah, I was drunk the entire time. They were literally feeding me
okay.
alcohol the entire time.
Yeah, okay.
It was because I was terrified of flying, and they knew that, so they were just feeding me alcohol to get me through the fucking trip.
Yeah.
The mole class has the ability to blend in. Well, you get a D10 turn to blend into any group while you have proper attire. And you can also, oh, and as long, oh, I guess they technically do have line of sight of you, but if they did not have line of sight, you could hide without any check being made. You'd just be able to hide successfully. So go ahead and add a D10 to that roll, Lizzie.
Okay.
Because you are wearing proper Mosin attire at the very least.
Roll.
Oh, Gabe, I do have one thing I was actually wondering if we could rework. Because there's a clock constantly. My skilled navigator thing, any checks made at time or direction, the time is always going.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's usually for me, but I forgot to show it for you guys also. Just so I can keep track of because it handles the daylight as well, if you can tell, for whatever daylight stuff. That's why I have it on here.
Yeah.
So that's my fault. We can definitely work that for the sake of this, because I didn't think about that when the clock was in the game.
Yeah, no problem. It was just one of those things I actually kind of just know. I was like, hey, there's always a clock, but one of my things is literally about telling time, so.
You all, I believe. Oh, I will take your group average. 64. Not divided by. 64 plus 35 plus 53.
Here, I'll throw in a Whirlpool dice.
Oh, okay.
Just to give it another.
152 plus
9.
152 plus 9.
So that's gonna be
161 divided by
44.
We'll round up because I'm feeling nice. Your group's average is a 54.
Okay.
You all successfully blend in with the crowds around who no one pays mind to the three of you following this pair. I will have them roll. I already rolled for them, but I'll have them actually roll a bit later. Like the roll that I had them do will come to play a bit later because they aren't actually looking around for anyone. But eventually, of course, they'll notice being followed. Anyone would at some point in time.
Yeah.
So I will have them rolled. I will have that roll come to effect later on to see if they spot you or not. However, for the time being, you follow them. They enter this room where you see not a large number of like written pieces of literature in here, but there are at least in this first room they walk into. You see off to the side looks to be a not scattering of pages, but side-by-side pages that look to be taken from a journal, kind of scattered around the interior here. Look to be very old, written, of course, in the Mosin language, Mother Small, of course. Nothing written in any language you can decipher. They don't walk in here to read. You watch the two of them walk in here, kind of stand off the side of a different group that's here, almost putting their backs to any exhibits, and they just begin to talk in this kind of general area, off to near a bench in this back room. We're gonna just kind of have this, not hushed but not loud conversation, a very very moderate conversation that kind of blends and mellows out across the room. Something that wouldn't be picked up unless someone is intentionally trying to listen. The kind of convo you'd hear in a museum that you just wouldn't pay attention to, but is loud enough that you can still hear it.
I want to try to listen if I can.
Go ahead and roll me wisdom. Anyone else trying to eavesdrop? I look at Lizzie, I wink. Go ahead and roll me wisdom as well, Lizzie, and because you were eavesdropping, you can add a d10 as well.
Alright.
Also, I know I'm gonna put it in the chat section. Like, I noticed that none of your features are in there. Like you have your trait and your quirk, but you don't have your class features in your sheet. So I'm gonna put them in the chat of the game for you to copy and paste there whenever you want to do that, so you can have easier access to them.
What is that with me? Great.
There you go.
You said Constitution?
No, it'd be wisdom for this one to eavesdrop. 61 and a 59. Right, Marlon is kind of doing generic bodyguard thing as he does, because Marlon's not an eavesdropper. Marlon stands off to the side.
That is correct.
He's taking in the broad room as a whole, sensing for threats. The two of you, this will be shared between the two of you because you both rolled relatively similar. The two of you hear the vague conversation between the two. Wesley is asking a woman whose name you decipher to be, or over here to be, Nenani. Last name you're not sure, but I'll put in chat. beep, 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 beep. There you go. There you go. They are discussing. It's very brief combo you pick up on. Wesley asks, have you ever found the rest of what they were looking for in the mountains by any chance? I know we don't get to talk like this very often, but this might be the wrong accent. Let me check my notes, actually. It's been a while.
Crazy.
Who said that? Wesley, was he the German one? I think he was the German one, wasn't he? He was German. The Russian one is... Yeah, the Russian one was Juniper. He's dead. Wesley was the German one. He goes, I know we haven't had a chance to meet and talk about things due to work schedules and traveling, but I just was curious as if to anything were found. The work there was slow, and as you can assume, because of its slow work and lack of progression, couldn't spend too much time funding that. But did you ever find the rest of whatever was in the mountains? She responds in kind. Make sure I get her accent right before I fuck up her accent too. She responds in, oh fuck yeah, it's Lifeline from Apex Legends, fuck yeah. Got the body shield here, level 2. She responds.
Mozambique.
Mozambique, she replies,
No.
ain't found nothing that far up north in a while, but I believe it's a bit closer to Stoneglass than we like to think. We'll keep looking, but coming to visit me in Aramos about something so old seems a bit peculiar. I'll keep you posted. He nods. And regarding the pages from Juniper's journal, yes, we're still looking for more of those, but not many have been found. Good. If you find any, have you found any in Eremos in the last year or so? She nods. Have them delivered to... Write something on a piece of paper. It's at the visitor center. This is my room. Have any papers you can procure delivered here. The less that are out there, the better. And having overlooked this many for so long has been my greatest failure and regret was not making sure all of Juniper's work was archived correctly. Old friend of mine, so I do appreciate all the work you've been doing, Nanani. And I would say we could talk here more about all these things, but I understand you have places to be. I do not wish to take up too much of your time, hence the less conspicuous meeting area. So, that being the case, keep me posted on Stoneglass, you said. She nods again, and keep me posted on the papers of the journal. I will be in Eremos for a little over 30 days before we depart again. I expect you'll find me in that time. And he turns, and at this point in time, as he turns to leave the room, he looks over. He did roll very high on his check. He rolled very high on his check. So he does look over, spot your group, and go, the others from the Skycart. Enjoying Eremos's, enjoying the history and culture of Eremos, I hope, as he walks straight to you three that are in the crowd.
Trying, but I don't speak the Moshin language.
Well, I've got myself a lovely tour guide here. Nanani kind of walks over, gives you a polite nod. I know a bit of the Mosin language of Motorschmoll, but having someone more culturally in tune with things makes me not sound offensive to the people. And I try my best to appease everyone I can when I'm here as a visitor in a wonderfully rich land of so much culture and history that shocks me sometimes what can be found here. So, find you. Wasn't that that Nasir fellow I overheard you talking to, and that Jalil fellow? Those two are Mosin, that's for certain. Have those two take you around these places. They can definitely translate for you.
Step out of my country.
They have a little bit. It's trying to gauge a lot of the history is not exactly my strong suit as I am but fisherman, and sometimes a lot of the book stuff gets a bit over my head.
Well, as a former archaeologist turned oceanic cartographer, I can tell you there are plenty of correlations to be made by these kind of histories here and the histories of the oceans and the depths. Let me assure you, more than you could know.
That would be very interesting to see. I wonder if they could shed some light on the beast.
The beast?
What's the actual name of it again?
It is just called the Typhoon Sea Beast. You're
Yeah.
not too far off the name,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah,
did just say the beast, capital THE.
The Typhoon Sea Beast, kind of like whale, but big teeth, brick ships.
You know, it's my theory that it is a further out, sort of uncharted deep sea creature that did not, I guess, migrate toward the warmer coastal waters. It's been feeding off the larger, fattier foods in the... I could ramble about this for hours, but there could be history as to why it was able to thrive and survive in the Typhoon Sea. And it could tie into, you know, the life there, the lack of fishing probably out there, perhaps even, who knows what else could have been done out there, the migratory patterns that we as humans cause in the sea life to go further out. There's so much we could get into about that all ties into, again, history and anthropology, possible archaeology.
You see, that's funny though, because I've been fishing the Typhoon in more of the shallow parts my entire life, and last time I was out on my boat, I encountered the Typhoon Sea Beast, but it was in the shallows.
In the shallows. Bloomfast did crack. Perhaps we were the ones that pushed it out of its natural hunting ground. Is that a possible theory? I don't want to steal this thought from you, though. If you have interest in this, write a paper, write a thesis. You say you are a simple fisherman, or you know more about the ocean than even someone like I would know. I don't sail like you. Write a paper of your thoughts. Send this into any university. You might become an accredited writer, and that could bring you a lot of anything you could desire, in my opinion. Pat on the shoulder. Bigger boat. And possibly a bigger fish.
I like the way you think.
And now you. You see like you know, one of those old man shoulder squeezes and keeps walking. Yeah. Looks to you, Marlon. You're a large man. Didn't think you'd be into the history business myself, but don't judge a book by its cover. Pat you on the side like your arm. He's walking. No, she Alexandra.
I would like to point out that Alexei was genuinely just conversating. He was not trying to cover up his tracks. He just heard ocean shit and got excited. So.
Yeah, Wesley nods to Alexandra and goes, I've seen you once or twice around the exhibition hall, I think. I know you're close with the Honorsworth girl. Please do continue to be close with her. She needs the friends, from what her uncle tells me. But don't let her know I told you that. But I really, on behalf of the Interlock, because if she does follow in either her father or uncle's footsteps, she might be taking up a spot there in the future. On behalf of us, we do hope you will continue to be a friend of her. We need more people that are of a kinder, gentler heart, that are more of a people's person in those positions. So please do stay close to her, and I do appreciate what you've done. And I'm glad you're into history. I'm glad all of you into history. I thought history was a dying subject of study, and you watch the Nani push him out. Am I rambling again, Nani? I apologize. And she needs to push him out of the room. Till next time we speak, everyone.
Good talk.
That was weird.
That was.
seems like someone, like, and this is like an out of character thought. He seems like somebody who, like, is pretending to be sane.
Ooh. He knows a lot of stuff, though.
He knows a lot of things, but there's you ever heard of genius syndrome?
Mm-mm.
You collect so much knowledge that that's the only things you know, but when it comes to actually operating through daily life, you're just a pilot. It's a lot of geniuses or people who have like extremely high IQs used to end up in psych wards because they get to the point of being so invested in the knowledge they do that they literally crack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It happened to Albert Einstein, who did spend a little bit of time in a psych ward. It also happened to Oppenheimer. A lot of the German scientists who worked on the Manhattan Project, because of the thing that they started to learn about the universe, and a lot of, especially cosmic people like who study the cosmos, end up with genius syndrome because they're now getting into things that almost like people shouldn't be able to understand, and the amount of possibilities of realizing that you could fucking die at any moment, and that's a knowledge that you have that most people wouldn't have. It degrades your brain. It's where a lot of like the understanding of Eldritch Horror comes, is just the genuine understanding of our universe. It's terrifying. And they tend to talk a lot because it keeps them grounded to a certain degree to just ramble.
Just
What's happening? What's happening?
I don't know.
Did someone go insane?
Fuck.
Someone is. Someone insane just now. What just happened?
Illegal. No, it's not.
are we still? If we're still staring at a book, are we still staring at that book? Can I forgot to add traits that I had.
Okay.
But I get to
Well, that'd be different. That'd be a different check. That'd be a whole different check to make for that.
Okay.
So I will say at this point in time, the three of you, I'm guessing, begin making your way back towards Yuri, Alexi, and the rest of the crew, correct? Or do you have anything else you wish to walk around the memory vault to discover?
I'd like to read some of the papers that are here, if possible, with somebody. I know I can't read them myself, but would anyone be willing to translate some stuff for me?
There definitely
can.
would be someone in this room that would translate for you, because this is a very important cultural room. And we'll come right back to you, because they're going to come. We'll get back to you in a second here. You're good. What you find here is a room with the title translated to Bloody Recounts, or Bloody Recountings, however you wish to read it. It is a collection, what you're described, of stories, excerpts, and experiences from veterans of the Netting Wars. They're very personal, emotion-filled tales from people who lived through what is considered to be the worst and only bad event between the two nations, Eremos and Gaspiage. Let's see here. There's there are bits to read that I have here listed out. What would you care to dive more into? Because again, it was an ocean. Most of the war happened in the water. It was of course, isn't in. Wait, I'll go to the map. Most of the fighting happened. I'll just drag Mason here for a second since you're looking at this.
Okay.
Most of the fighting happened in around this area between the Eremos Channel. Some of it happened down in the Crescent Ocean, but most of it was in the Eremos Channel area.
On a naval warfare, it seems.
Yeah, it was a war of fishing lanes, so most of it was all happening in the water.
Gotcha.
Let me pull up the actual note for it, so I can tell you this properly. World history. Yep, they began in. Of course, they used the lunar calendar here, so the war began in the year 241 of the lunar calendar, which is a long time ago, of course, and it took place. Yeah, namely in the Eremos Channel and down in this area. It was mainly the stretch of water here between the Eremos Channel and the Crescent Ocean. Some bits happened in the Typhoon Sea just by proxy of how close they are, but mainly these places. And then the largest and most bloodied battle happened down here, a bit near the Circus Whale Isles. It happened right on this place in this small portion between the Isles and the where the mouse is, at a place where it became it was called Whale Trench, but this area was colloquially called the Bloody Sea for a portion of time because the water was soaked red for weeks after the battle ended. It was over 1,000 lives were lost in that battle, which is not a lot, of course, in modern war times, but for the population of the world back then, that was a lot of people to die in one fight. But most of the fighting happened in those locations. And I'll move back to the Petrita map now, just so I can show you where the battle occurred. So you're welcome to read about general war accounting, or you can read more about, I guess, the emotional bits of it. It's your first choice which you wish to dive directly into. So what'll it be, Alexi?
I think I'd like to read up on the war stuff then.
Okay. The worst things happened on typically overall, being in the water was for a long time is bad for most of these people, but they were, of course, most of them were fishermen or sailors or people that had trained to fight in this that had joined up to fight. But most of them weren't, of course, by any means mentally conditioned for prolonged open sea combat by any means. The worst of it happened sometimes on stormy nights, typically out in the typhoon sometimes, especially, where people were, missing land. They'd been away from solid ground for so long, or they had been suffering from some sort of adverse mental condition, or a mixture of both, just from being out there for so long, that they began to almost like hallucinate or see land, and they would try and jump into the water to swim there, only to have like a splash relation and come swimming back if they had the strength for it, of course. And then these visions are most prominent during any fighting the Typhoon Sea, where the waves are rockier and the weather more harsh, almost like they were envisioning a tropical paradise or of some kind out in the harsh waters, someplace to escape to away from, all of this. Beyond that, there is something that is accounted for in a large section of doctoral mentions of something called maritime night madness that happened to some of the sailors out there, which was a type of insanity that came to them from they, of course, still began being on the water for too long. They would just be out on clear nights, no bad weather, nothing of the sorts, just open ocean, and they would just jump overboard and start swimming towards, the only reflection of light they could find being the moon, the only light source that in the entire ocean. They would start swimming towards it as fast as they could, some of them diving beneath the water and never surfacing again.
But this was happening to many, many people.
Yes, it was called maritime night madness, a very common one.
And the other one being the people seeing a paradise that they think is there.
Yeah, a paradise in the harsh ocean, mainly out in the typhoon, where of course the fighting was a lot more stressful due to the weather and the waves.
So, being superstitious that Lexi is, he does not think of it as some thing with just being on. He's seen people who he's been in the water for a long time. There's been times, and likely his dad would his dad ever recount anything that comes to because his dad's probably spent longer times in the water than he ever has, but his dad is also quite superstitious as well. Would there be any stuff that his dad would have ever said about things?
Your dad may have possibly, in passing, when telling you stories when you were younger about the ocean, about this same, about a rough trip he was on with buddies or family out in the typhoon, possibly like a week-long voyage further out into the water where they, too, encountered horrible conditions And even though they couldn't see land due to the fog or the rain or the storm or any mixture of darkness or anything around them, they swear for even a moment, they're like, is that land? And they begin to paddle towards it, only for like the boat to be rocked and the land to be gone again. Just seeing things out in the water, and your dad would definitely have a first-hand experience of that as well. But beyond just that minor explanation of that event recounting, he didn't mention anything else. Had to mention anything else.
Alexei, again, also being kind of superstitious, would not think that this is like some sort of medical or mental, like just from being on the sea. Alexei believes in a lot of the old folk tales when it comes to things, and even probably made some of himself. Alexei's going to see that and go, there's something wrong with that area. There is something wrong. Something wants to swallow those sailors whole. Like that type of fate. Thoughts. Because wasn't the sea beast also thought to be a myth for a long time?
It was for a while. It was something seen only out in the deep, deep waters, back when Bloomfast was still around.
Yeah, and so Alexei has the thought process of, just because you might think it's a myth or not real, guess what? It still might be, just like the sea beast. So there's some sort of an influence that he believes, and especially from somebody, you know, who has grown up with somebody who worshipped the moon playing an influence of that is like, there's something here. There's something definitely here. And I would like, Alexei himself actually would like to investigate that.
Go ahead and, you know, I will say, go ahead and roll me. Oh, this is more for history, but it's the history of the ocean. Go ahead and roll me intelligence at advantage, please.
Okay. First one, 73. Second one, I accidentally rolled.
Well, you can keep the 70 and just add your intelligence instead. Because you with a 70, you just change the modifier.
It'd be 71, yeah. So 71.
Okay, 71. Because I'm such a lovely DM, I love adding on to your superstitions. The world-famous explorer sailor Captain Jesper D. Yawning did go missing soon after the end of the Netting Wars. And a lot of fighting did again happen out in, you know, the Eremos Channel and the Typhoon Sea and all that places. He did vanish soon after the war ended. Which doesn't only add on to that sort of, I guess, superstitious feeling both you and possibly your father might have shared about something being wrong in the waters there. If a world-famous explorer went missing out in those waters, possibly. Because Captain Jesper Yawning was, of course, beyond being known to be a sailor, he was mainly known for sailing across up and down the Bloomfast coast, because that's where he had established his little, you know, coastal relief force.
It's not a fucking easy sea to sail, and for him to go missing just on a random-ass voyage is not something that happens. Someone's next to me, right?
Yeah, I'll say it would be Alexandra and Marlon both next to you.
I would convey the whole thing with Captain Yawning with that, but also talk about how my dad would talked about the exact same thing on the Typhoon. There is something here that goes beyond their belief. Just simple being on the ocean too long. I think there is something out there that wants to swallow the sailors whole under the full moon.
I don't know if Jay's here, but Lizzie's muted right now. I mean, they're both here, probably. Sure. I know Lizzie's here, but Lizzie takes muted typically.
I want to talk to Yuri after this, because I know Yuri's been reading stuff in the book and wanting to know about it and all this stuff. But
Yuri here.
Oh, hey, Lizzie.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Alexei had said something about that. Anyway, just to do that. Hey. Yeah, Alexei was talking to you. My fault.
The amount of people that recount the exact same thing cannot just be attributed to simple madness. You can't have that many people have the exact same situation.
Then cover up.
I don't know if it's a cover up or just people not understand. Because they can't explain it, they just simplify it and avoid it. To understand, the Typhoon Sea Beast was also thought to be a myth for a very long time. Turns out it was real. She was on my boat, wasn't she?
Yeah, everyone was on your boat
Yeah.
except for Group 1.
Yeah.
Everyone saw the Typhoon Sea Beast, that big motherfucker.
Yeah. I believe there are things in this world that go beyond our understanding. A lot of people who are truth seekers or scientists, knowledge hours, they try to explain things that they cannot explain, and because they can't explain it, they just cover it up.
Were there anything in common with the people who this happened to?
They all saw a paradise that they would swim towards, or saw a light that they would jump overboard to go swim towards, and just would never return. They would swim underwater.
Would there be a reason someone wouldn't want them around anymore?
Those people?
Yes.
No, they were sailors fighting in the war.
So it was another entity, or was it other people who tricked them?
I don't think it was other people who tricked them, because it was seen on both sides. This happened to both sides of that war. It also happened to my father while sailing. He managed to get out of it. He managed to snap out of it. But sometimes when that moon shines, there's just something there.
Something about the moon.
It all relates back to moonlight. Everything.
Is there a way to study the moonlight?
There's a whole religion based off of it. My father is part of that religion.
And your friend does indeed have a book pertaining to at least
Yeah.
historical or a biography, analytical biography.
Yuri has a book that the more he reads, he just looks worse and worse for wear. Like it's
The book.
insane.
The knowledge from the book.
And the tapes that we saw, like, I understand, like, it was a good piece of work and, like, it was a great film, but there was even talks about the moon and artifacts and things like that. So, like, from WCA, Wesley C. Adams, but you see him now, he doesn't even care about it. But it looked to me like he put a big part of his life into it. And then acted like it was no big deal. That's what I mean. He talks like he's brain is adult, but he has so much knowledge, like something itself is trying to hide its own knowledge from him, like it's trying to block it out, to stay a semblance of sane.
How are we to learn more?
I think we have to follow the trail, like we've been doing. I only think we can go deeper. We need to find... We're missing a person. We're missing Lucian. I don't know what he's up to, but the fact that he's been gone for this long in a foreign fucking country... No offense.
I will,
It's a bit alarming.
Cause for concern.
I will also say, as you are listening to Alexi talk Alexandra, and he says, "No, I think I have to keep following." The words that you briefly heard of it's in the lighthouse that no one else seems to have acknowledged at this point. They begin to kind of almost ring in your mind. As he says, Alexi goes, I think the way to do this is we have to keep following. And you hear in Vincent's voice, finding it, I lost it. Holy shit, there it is. Words that you did not hear before that come to your mind. As you chase me, madness chases you. Words that he did not say to you, but that fit into the end of the conversation he was having before he jumped off the lighthouse. Things that he didn't actually say. These words almost echo in your mind for just the briefest of moments, like filling in the blanks of something you heard before that you couldn't, like a layer to the tip of your tongue you couldn't say properly, that now come to your mind in this moment. As Alexi says, we have to keep following. As you chase me, madness chases you.
I just remembered when he fell from. He escaped us on the rooftop. He said that madness would follow if we chase.
Da. But sometimes if you're trying to understand something, you have to accept you might not come out the same. My father has never been the same. He's still a very good man, but he's never been the same.
And all three of you, Alexandra, Alexi, and Marlon, all recall the last words all of you heard spoken. If you seek answers, then you must chase. I will guide you.
You have to find him.
How about he chase my balls?
I think if we find Lucien, we'll be able to find something. I think we should check. See if maybe he went back to the visitor's ward or something. And maybe he's back. If not, maybe somebody there could have seen where he'd gone. Ask people.
Do you remember what he last wearing so we can ask around?
What was he wearing?
The last thing he was wearing was very generic attire, like hiking pants, boots, long sleeve shirt with like elbow pads and gloves. But you saw him wearing that attire in like Bloomfast, where you had been following his team as they were using like zip lines and ropes to maneuver rooftops and buildings. It's unlikely he's wearing the same attire here that he was wearing in a cold, rainy place. I think there's a more hot and arid place here, or hot and humid place here.
I think the best chance
That's
we have
right.
is Lucien first.
Yes.
I think we should head back to the visitor's ward. See if we can find something. Lucien's whereabouts, possibly. And
This is a good idea. Let's check out the visitors.
I think we're gonna head back to the visitor's ward then.
You gonna stop by and pick up Jaleel and Yuri along the way?
Yeah.
Alright. Jaleel, Tark, if you're here. Damn.
Yeah.
At this point in time, after you have just... This is around the time you've just finished... oh, hang on. The roll. Sure.
Another one.
Yeah, you wanted to give me a roll for the item, correct?
The map.
The map,
Yeah.
yes. Go ahead.
I'll use past. Yeah, I'll use my 2.
Go ahead and roll me intelligence or wisdom. Add a d10 to it.
Do I get? Oh,
Yeah, you get a d10 to it for your past savvy.
the past that. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
both
for
of
the
you.
history.
Oh, both of you a d10,
Well, the history of the item,
and also
its
understanding
creation
maps.
or discovery.
So yeah, go ahead and roll me roll intelligence or wisdom. Add me 2 d10, please.
So for the history of this map.
And add 2 d10. You get 2 free d10 to add to that. $54. You vaguely remember stories being told of the Star Guide. This item wasn't just something left behind by the first explorer. These are places they went to personally and marked down. The stars themselves aren't locations, is all you can really understand, but they pertain to places that the first explorer has gone to. But the stars on the map aren't the locations they went to. They just help you locate them. That's all you gain.
Am I familiar with with these stories of the first explorer?
Not much is known about them. All that is known about this person is that they traveled all across Eremos from north to south and were last spotted sailing across the typhoon toward, which you can only presume to be probably Bloomfast at that point. Gaspillage, which I guess would be Bloomfast at that time, but this is before Bloomfast was even considered. This is back before there was a Visix. This is old history. If they were sailing across the typhoon, they didn't know what they were going to end up at. Just that they left. They finished doing the portion of the Star Guide in Eremos, took it, and left. And one day it ended up back in Eremos.
How old is this story? Is this before, like, what time period?
Got you here. Hold up real fast, sorry. I know I have it somewhere. It's probably my world history. Scrolling. This would be back... This one is correct. Sorry. I'm trying to make sure I get this right. I'm cross-referencing my notes right now.
Old man.
He's too... That man is too old, bro. This is old. You're not gonna find this guy. He's just old.
The old man in that was over in the other room.
Let's see. There's that one. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get this right. Okay. This would have been back around the 13th year of the lunar calendar, which is of course the calendar using Gaspillage, which would be, you want to say, maybe during sometime around between the 100th and 200th rotation, over 500 years ago, is when anything involving the first explorer was ever mentioned and recorded. Like, this is old.
Eremos uses the rotations.
Yes.
What is the Gaspillage
Lunar
calendar?
Lunar calendar.
The lunar calendar.
Yeah, so this would have been around... This would have been before the lunar calendar even had its first year. It's old. Because by the time that Gaspillage was on the 61st year of the lunar calendar, Eremos was on the 309th rotation already at that point.
Okay.
And this would have been back before they began to record major events. Back, again, between the years like 100 and 200 of the rotations.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
The rotations is...
Same thing as a year.
Rotation stars.
On the sun. So
That's how they would have...
Precisely.
Yeah. Hmm. Are we? Is it both of us still here?
Yes, I mean
Who am I?
Christian,
Yeah.
I believe, is gone to pick up
Oh.
his wife from work right now, so he's not actually here.
Oh,
But at this point in
okay.
time, Alexi, Alexandra, and Marlon would regroup with you back in this room.
But hello, everybody. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hello, neighbor. Bro's doing the King Julian voice. Hello, everybody. Yes,
Okay.
you guys are all reconvened. Also, before I forget, Nasir, how long are you going to be visiting your family today?
A stupid amount of time.
Okay.
Everyone else is suffering, and he's like on vacation.
Not a problem, not a problem. In that case, is there anything noticeable I can tell you about the world since you've been gone? Since you've been gone. Anyways. Sorry, I don't know what came to my mind just now. No, trying to look for this year. No, yeah, nothing of notice happened since you've been away from home.
Nothing crazy has changed.
No, I was checking my notes just now to be sure. Nothing.
No gossip from the fam.
About anything in particular?
No.
I was say if you want general gossip, nothing of general gossip worthy has happened. If you want to like try to find like super through the grapevine type information, that'd be a whole different thing to try and gather.
How would I do that? In a way that's not.
I'd have to roll, or actually, I'd have you roll me a D100 to see if your family had any gossip to pick up on.
I'm not. I'll do that.
Roll me D100, please. See if you got any. See if you can pick up on anything.
Nope.
The most you can gather is that I mean, I'll give you something. It won't be anything you care about all that much, but I'll give you something. The Landmark Protection Agency that handles, of course, the security and information
Yeah.
of, notable landmarks across Eremos. Those kind of people that, the most you can get about them is that they are really trying to keep people out of the sinking dunes now. Just because of the number of people trying to go out there that are unsanctioned. Like, they allow, leniently, some digs from Gaspillage. Not many, but some. Where they're kind of, like, really batting down the hatches now. Because they've
Good.
also received word of all the robberies happening over there.
Good.
And they're like, what the fuck, guys? We allow you to come here to take some things, and you let them get stolen? Like, what? So, they're really starting to lock that place down overall because of all the robberies. But beyond that, you don't get much information down the grapevine of something super pertinent to yourself.
Alright, great. Next step, we're gonna start kicking the Gashins out of our country.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It was under a fucking racist arc. This is crazy.
It's not an arc. It's been like this from the beginning.
I know. I'm just saying. It's
We're gonna kick the Gaspillages out of our country.
We're gonna kick the Gassians out. We're gonna
Illegals. Taking our job, taking our artifacts.
This is terrible. Anyways, the rest of you. I love the Mosin people. The best people.
I love it. It is double. It's great. Nothing better in the world.
The rest of you regroup with Jaleel and Yuri. I'll say towards the main entrance of the building now. I'll say back in the Star Guide room. What do you tell everyone, Jaleel, as you've all regrouped officially before you head back to the center?
We all already know this map is from the first explorer, right? Well, it looks like there are places that he's visited. Maybe the landmarks on the map of the sky, the stars, a specific time of year, but they seem to be markings of places he's traveled. They traveled, who knows?
Very interesting.
It must be at least from the 100 turns.
Which,
Oh,
for your basic understanding of the lunar or of the rotations of the traditional calendar, Marlon, Alexandra, Alexi, if he said 100, 200 rotation, that's like 500, 600 years ago, depending.
I would probably also relay the messages, things that I was talking about with what I was talking about in the place.
All right. I'm guessing you all make your way toward.
wait, can I check what they learned with my history? My past savvy? Or what they were talking about? If I can make any connection.
Which particular thing would you care to?
What were they?
I will say, Alexi, you can give Jill a specific topic you picked up from, and I'll have him roll for that.
Talk basically the stuff with the moon and the sailors and things like that, and it being something that my dad kind of had also recounted, that type of stuff, that madness that happened to so many people on both sides that could not just be something random.
Roll me. I mean, yeah, if you want to roll for that, for anything involving moon and insanity and sailors, you are more than welcome to. Intelligence or wisdom. Actually, for this one, it would be intelligence in particular, Julio.
Okay. It would be the history. Because it would have to be... I'd have to be something specific to do with the history of, like, a place. Or discovery. Maybe I guess accounts of the discovery of those... of people discovering, what was that, those is it just a storm out there? There's weird stuff happening in the storm? That would have been written about. Probably. I don't know.
I will say. What do you wish you were? I will say, but we're gonna exclude your past savvy thing.
Okay.
Based on your backstory, and you being the historian, from the options of the ocean insanity and the moonlight stuff going on, and the story of the netting wars, what of those three subjects do you wish to glean more information about?
I guess the reported effect of the moon.
Just roll me intelligence, please. Do not add your past savvy. This is just a straight intelligence check. You have your whirlpool to use if you need it, but it's just straight intelligence beyond that. You gotta roll. You gotta roll high, Buster Brown.
Yeah. I don't think I can reroll for anything for that. I already used it.
Do you have any other bonuses from your backstory that you can add to it? Let me check.
I mean, I wouldn't have been near the water.
That's true.
I guess anything about the moon would have had to been like in the desert, which I'm sure we would have seen it, but I don't know if it would have, I don't know if there would have been stories about like a similar kind of a drawing.
If you want to risk using your whirlpool, all you have to do is get a threshold of 50. You're pretty low behind that, though. You'd have to get 2 10s and an 8 at worst.
At worst.
You don't have to use me for 1 2. I'm just saying that if you want to try.
Yeah, no, probably not right now.
I mean, you also do have a full dose of your intellect tonic if you want to burn that.
What does that? How much does that give me? What's that?
Intellect. It's like, I moved it right now for you.
I have it in here somewhere.
I'm ready to get it right. I'm pretty sure. I think it's a +4 to your rolls. I think it's like a flat bonus to your rolls. Intellect tonic. Oh, this is old stuff. I'm looking at old stuff right here. It is a plus 10 to strength and dexterity checks for 10 minutes. If you use a full dosage.
Intellect on it?
Yeah, the old rule was a plus 4 to your stat, but I changed those stats. I don't. My new rules don't use stats; they just use modifiers now. So now it's just a flat plus 10 to your roll.
No.
If you were to burn a whole use of your intellect tonic, I will allow you to add that plus 10 right now before trying to use your whirlpool, because that would make your roll into a 32, which is a lot more doable to get a plus.
Yeah.
To get what 18 more points as opposed to getting 30 more points. So go ahead and burn off one full use of your intellect tonic, which is going to put you back by a lot for your substance stuff.
Dependency.
That roll becomes a 32. You still need to get a 50 baseline to succeed. All you need is 18 more points. I recommend rolling 1d10 at a time. You're at a 40. You just need 10 more. 44. You just need 6 more. Oh! Am I a kind, just game master, guys? Am I benevolent in my endeavors?
We're missing a few people.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Marlon, give up one of your Whirlpool dice to Jaleel, and I will allow him to add it to the roll. Give Jaleel one of your Whirlpool dice, and I will allow him to add it to his roll to succeed.
What would I do that?
Are traits a static feature? Like that just
They are.
apply
Unless
to...
they have like a limited number of uses, they are a static feature.
So maybe still have the pass. I don't know, the pass savvy. That would be.
That's objects or locations in particular,
Yeah.
or items or
No, item
location.
or
Places.
places creation. Or discovery of a place. And I already used my break.
They're trying to decipher any correlation between
no.
the moon and insanity in some way. If you don't want to give up that D10, Marlon, by all
This would be
means.
such a great time for fucking Christian to be here, God damn it.
What is the roll for? I don't like lost.
Wait,
I'll give him one of mine
I guess
if
it's
he doesn't
not.
want to give him his.
Why are you lost? You
Or
really?
is it the moon?
Hey, no,
I
I'll
lost this whole fucking campaign.
write your note. Write notes then, Jay. It's a lore campaign. Write notes.
I'm horrible at it.
I just do bullet points, man. Like I do like buzzwords and
Yeah.
stuff. I have most of my stuff's on paper, but a lot of my stuff, because I can't find my notebook right now, I have it in Google.
Jay using his hands to
I don't
write.
even have paper in this apartment.
Oh my goodness. And
Could
that
I call over that?
The only paper I have is the mail.
if Christian was here, that would be good. You know what? You know what?
That's the thing. Christian has the most information on this shit. which is
Yeah.
the shitty part of why
Roll
he's not
for.
here.
Can I pull over the book?
To decipher moon insanity. What, Yuri? That's Christian.
No. The guy that the other half of the party was talking to when they went into the room.
Oh, he's already
What's
gone.
his guess? Yeah.
He's
What's-
gone.
what's
gone,
he
out of
left.
the building.
Oh yeah, he would have left while you were still doing your last research. All right, I will
Fine, I'll give it. I mean, I don't think I'm going to use one of these dice right now.
give. All right, add an extra D10 to that. Mark off one of your Whirlpool dice, Marlon. And when Christian gets back, I allow him to make a roll as well, depending on what you learn from this. I added one more D10, Tark. You just need 5. Holy shit!
You get a 1.
You got a 5.
Oh my god.
You barely succeeded. Looking into the correlation or any possible history involving the moon and insanity brings you a recollection of one person you've heard of in your travels. A man who is, by all accounts, clinically insane, both considered in Eremos and Gaspillage, from anything you know, but who makes some of the most beautiful paintings or renditions of constellations or the moon or old objects that you've ever seen in your life. This person that you would know of is being held in a remedial chamber in Petrita, because again, people go to them to witness or view them painting or to see their completed paintings. They all have the name Talim Shea. They were an archaeologist. They used to be an instructor at the Great Hall.
On Academy.
But they are now just insane. Absolutely rambles about nothing, says literal gibberish, but creates gorgeous paintings. Some are insanely detailed.
This is what we get when we put our fucking dicks together. Let's go.
And that is what you come to knowledge of, Jaleel, in this moment. When you just think of, when the first thought comes to your mind about the moon and insanity is this painter that you might have even visited once or twice in your travels, Talim Shea.
There might be somebody that could shed light on these depictions of the stars. And tell all that to everybody else. Talim is a bit crazy, but crazy comes with a cost, hopefully. And the cost, well, crazy is the cost, but he makes extremely accurate depictions of stars and paintings of other things. Very well known among few.
It's really my
Can
understanding.
I make one more check for the are there landmarks or anything that I can decipher from the first Explorer's Constellations book?
I will give you one more check before your group begins to make their way back towards the visitor center. Remember, they did what I had there. Because I mean, I guess you have to be walking and talking at this point, but I will allow one more check before you leave this place. As like a second glance back, as you guys are walking out of the room, you begin making your way out of the building. You take one more glance back at the star guide. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, and this can add in your
My Explorer
your
Traveler.
Explorer Traveler, yes. Oh! Oh! Never mind! Okay! Yeah! Wow!
Perfect one. Perfect hunted.
Some of the points on the map are arrayed around the northwestern side of Gaspillage. Others around sort of the almost true north of Eremos. But the ones and landmarks you can most accurately pick up from the star guide would be these small little possible, which you can pretend to be with that roll, mountain scratches on a map. Someone tried to detail terrain towards the northwest of what would be Gaspillage on this map. There are a bunch of stars arrayed around that area.
Taking notes.
I'll pull you to the map actually, Tar, so you can see that real quick. So you can just see. I won't show you where the stars are, but just so you can see the northwest side of Gaspillage in particular. Which would be over in this general vicinity.
Same.
And I'll pull you back to the other map again.
You said it just in front of the range or inside the range?
They're arrayed all around the northwestern side in no particular pinpoint location, because once again, as you recall, the stars themselves aren't locations. They're to help guide you to a location.
Mm.
But how they guide you is unclear to you.
Mm.
However, some of them are arrayed around the northwestern side of Gaspillage.
look for bright stars in that area next time we're back.
However, you all do take the trip back to. It does take a while, of course, because it does work on a 4-hour rotation for travel. So you guys do get back there around like 12:30. And as you all begin to walk into the building, you see person at the front desk spots your group and waves you down, like means to wave you down really fast. Like one of the clerks, what do they call the attendants at the front desk, trying to wave your group down to come to the front desk, like trying to gesture you over. Any of you.
Yeah. I'd probably head over.
Yeah, I'll walk over.
They will go up and they will hand you a sticky note. They, of course, don't speak the language you all speak. They'll say it in Mosin, in Motherswell too. I guess the group, Jalud is here, translated, of course, because you speak the language. Someone dropped this sticky note, this letter off. It was addressed to the Gassian visitors that came in yesterday, which is you all, I'm guessing. And then they'd hand the letter over across the table and sign it over there. Just a little folded up note card, kind of piece of paper.
Is that who's picking that up?
It doesn't matter who, but I'm guessing you guys pick up, of course. If anyone wants to grab it and flip it open, opening up the note card, kind of the full four-folded piece of paper, it just says Lucian, and then there's an address.
Oh. 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 Well, I guess this is where Lucian has been. He's been missing for a couple days, yeah?
Just today, mainly. Not on He's been missing all morning. According to Drew, he vanished, like, early, like 5, 6 a.m. early, and has not been seen or heard from since.
Okay. So there wouldn't be a huge reason to... Well, why would he send us an address? Okay.
Is it too late? I need to just leave notes and not come back.
Not typically, I don't think.
I should probably head.
He's in your group. Only you would know.
Oh.
Lucian's in your group. Always know if he's typical to leave notes and vanishes you and or Drew.
Yeah, not really. I don't know. He's never left any notes before.
Looking at the general map of Patrita and the address, this couldn't be more than like 3 blocks away from this building either.
Well, should we go, I guess?
Yeah.
We'll see what he's found.
Welcome back, Jay. I'm back.
What's up?
I know it's like your thing. Your thing said, I was delaying for a second. They just said, I'm back. In the chat.
You look at a fucking 100. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Jalil's popping off. He's doing his historian thing.
Fucking nerd.
Not gonna lie, I had me in the first half.
You guys walk like 20 minutes to the destination. Find yourself in front of looks to be I think this is a laundromat. Like a laundromat, some kind of building. Some kind of laundry building. Is the address. It looks to be closed though. The front door is like not like permanently closed, but like closed like a lunch break type close. You know, little doors is closed and looks to be locked. Lights are off. You see some machines are on in the back, but the little closed sign is up. And the only thing besides that is, of course, the little back alley there. It's just the front door, and then a back alley that kind of goes between this and the other row of buildings beside it.
Oh yeah. I'd say probably knock first.
You do. Knock on the glass door. You see someone like in the. You see like movement in the back. There's like someone like in the little back staff area. Stands up, peers out, walks over. They don't open the door, but they go up to the window and they shrug for a second, then like kind of creak it open like the window itself, not the door. They creak open the window and lean out. And of course, in Motor Small, which only Jilly understands, they just ask, "Sorry, closed for lunch." That's what Jilly will translate to you all. Them saying is sorry, closed for lunch.
Excuse me, there was a letter we got with this address. Our friend might be here.
See them showing yourself, and they nod. They look at the letter. They close the window, and they point for you all to head around back.
Okay.
Head around back.
Walking around, you hear like the...
Can I mention to everybody else, this seems kind of sketchy.
The machete is again going to go into my arm.
Machete in the arm, up your sleeve?
Yep. That's where.
Dang. That's where I keep it.
No, that's why when Lucino had the gun and stuff, that's where it was. So when I folded it out and had it up to his neck, that's why. It's a quick deploy with the machete, but it's still a fucking machete. So.
Quick deploy machete sounds pretty effective.
Yeah.
I would actually say, Nasir, you've gotten a call on this as well, Nasir, that there's a letter left for you at the visitor center along with the other Gassian arrivals. But you know you're not from Gaspia, but they said that you're with that group of people that just came from Gaspia, so they said there's a letter for you there as well because they know you live here, you know.
Yeah, my friends are up to trouble. I'll go translate for them.
So you would get.
I would head down.
You'd get to the visitors ward around the same time as they would have just gotten to Lucian. As you guys are walking around back, you have your machete ready at the side. Like a back cellar hatch is already swung open. You hear the kind of it clanging open. And you see the same guy from the front of the building peek out, wave you all down, and then head back inside the cellar.
I'm gonna step back a little bit and just keep an eye on either side of that alley.
And you got a bodyguard here. This is the time where a bodyguard would do the bodyguard thing, you'd think. Marlon.
Marlon.
So this sort of
I just sat back down. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What? What'd you see my name?
I'm gonna break your kneecaps, swear to God.
I'm sorry.
Swear to God, I'm gonna hurt you. You're being told to go down an alleyway by some dude in the cellar.
What?
You came looking for Lucian, and it took you a laundromat, you knocked on the door, a guy told you to head around back, open up a cellar down the alleyway, waved you all in, and then went back inside the cellar.
Oh my god. Can I... Does the dude look sus?
You have you have a skill for that to ascertain that. Give me that roll. It can be intelligence, or actually it can be wisdom or charisma, please.
Neither one is good. Actually, well, wait, my charisma is actually not that bad. Holy shit! Then I get an extra D10. Oh my god, what's wrong with my mic?
you sound like you're a PS2 character.
Yeah, it's buzzing.
You mean it's buzzing?
Looking at him right now, even with a D10 bonus, even with the D10 right now, looking at this guy, he's smaller than you. How much trouble could he be? That's all you can really glean from that.
Pulls out the chamba.
Am I the only one here?
No, everyone's there. You're the only like combat oriented class here though, in case things get bad.
My my big brawling black ass into the alley. Okay.
We're here with you.
I mean, everyone's there with you. I'm just saying, in terms of like this being a sketchy location, you're the only combat-oriented class in the group that could possibly handle anything that gets bad.
The only thing I can do is know where to chop with a machete. That's about it.
Yes, I just only have hands and cigars.
Alright,
I guess I'm going into the alley.
Flint and steel.
Oh, I have a switchblade. I forgot about that.
Flip of the switchblade, you can walk down the alley. Marlon gets to lead the way for you all as you move forward. You get to the hatch, to the cellar, Marlon, and you kind of peer down. You don't see the guy that waved you all in there, but you do see a chair knocked over in the center of the room and some legs tied to it.
Oh.
What kind of freak party did I walk into?
As you all get there and kind of peer further in, the guy that waved you all in there is not in there. You see a door, like a thick metal door further back that is currently closed. But inside that room, on the ground, knocked out, bloody nose, black eye, tied to the chair is Lucian.
Oh, it's just Lucian. There's nothing else important down here.
Damn.
But he is knocked out cold. His face looks a bit flushed. Like, he doesn't look like he's dehydrated, but he's definitely suffering from some adverse heat exhaustion from just being down in the cellar.
Bro's getting cooked down here.
I'm gonna pour some water on his face.
A bit of the color returns, but he does not wake up. He's out cold. He was cold cocked by that fucking fist to the jaw, bro.
I just sling him over my shoulder.
Yeah, you from over your shoulder. I will say Lucian would mumble a half asleep because Chris got offline, or Chris probably going to work. Because I keep hearing that Chris works late at night, so if he's not here early on, he's not going to be here towards the end either. He does mumble in his half sleep that Vincent, are they left? Dunes, and then he'd pass out again.
Damn, bro got fucked up. Shit.
You need another reason why we need Yuri here. He's literally the fucking doctor.
I think Christian's back. Not definitely anymore. He might be back. I think. I could be wrong. Yeah. Well, first of all, to catch you up, there was discussions between Alexei and Jalil and Alexandra and Marlon about ocean insanity, like maritime madness. From what you heard, people would look at the moon and the water, or look at the water and the ocean and the ending wars and jump in and start swimming towards it or swim beneath the waves. Some people would envision paradises in the waters. I believe there was more, wasn't there, that I'm forgetting? That you wanted to discuss with Yuri?
I mean, I wanted to talk to him about some of the stuff but it can be done a little after, like the doctor stuff, but I want to talk to him about the stuff that he knows with the book and the moon.
Ah, right.
Alexei's peaked due to ocean stuff that connects with his dad.
And you had to talk with you had to talk to Alexandra about that as well.
Yeah.
But just now, Yuri, as you kind of are catching up with the group, because they walked down a sketchy alleyway, and all of them went ahead of you, just make sure it was safe. You see them walk out with a currently unconscious Lucian over Marlon's shoulder. Skin looks a bit flushed, like he's suffering from some heat exhaustion, and he's out cold. And you'd hear him faintly mumbling about Vincent already left Dunes.
Jeez. All right, set them down carefully.
I suplex him.
Huh?
Careful enough.
You set Lucian down.
Jeez, what happened to him?
You see a black eye, swollen cheek, busted lip, bloody nose. Either he was hit multiple times or really hard one time.
I'm gonna check for.
But only in the face.
Under the surface. I'm gonna check for under the surface injuries, any fractures or cracks.
See if this man has a solid jaw still or not.
The jaw is intact. There is a chipped tooth, though. He was hit hard in the face, or multiple times, or a few times with something heavy. Something hit him really hard in the face. is the only injury he has, and it looks to be from just general knowledge. The thing that knocked him unconscious was the head he took.
All right, jeez. This is a first responders pack moment.
What are you using on him, or does she use it for the general health check?
For some reason, the first responder pack has no description, so let me go.
Oh, actually, I would say you would spot like one of those vitamin tacks in Lucian's hand that he couldn't fully get out of his pocket that he's kind of holding out right now. Because they do give the benefit. They give the benefits of like a break to someone, lets them to like briefly recover stamina and some other stuff.
All right, how well is he salivating?
He's not terribly dehydrated, but it's like if he had gone like another 24 hours, 12 hours at most, he'd be in a bad shape. Not dying, but definitely on the way to getting there. Had to be left alone for the full day.
All right, and breathing is regular?
Fairly regular. Bit like offsetting because again his lip is swollen, so he's kind of breathing like half of a mouth right now because of the swollen lip.
Jeez. All right, I'm gonna see if he'll. I'm assuming. Yeah, no. I have flasks of water, so I'll see if I can get him to carefully down that pill in his hand because he seems to.
Okay. You give him the vitamin tack. Slow sips his water, and he comes to focus. Bit dizzy, but he's there. You can do like the little follow my finger thing to make sure you can trace properly, and you can. But yeah, he'll need something cold to recover, like some cold air or ice or something to cool him off to get him back in tip-top shape. But he would tell you, Vincent and his people left for the sinking dunes. What time is it now?
Check my watch.
You ain't got no watch on.
13:30, correct?
Do you have a watch?
You know,
I don't
know why I wouldn't.
I think the only person that has a watch like from their starter kit is the benefactor, which is Char's character.
I mean, I'm good at telling time.
I know it's on the screen, but if you were to, you are the only able to tell time around Alex. I wish I could find a way to hide the time for like specific players and have only you see it, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. However, you would know, Alexa, that it is about 1:40 at this point.
Okay.
What time is it?
1:40.
Vincent and them left at about 7 a.m. then, hours ago. If we're going to follow them, we should leave before it gets late, before sundown.
You in any shape to travel?
If I sleep, I will be.
Alright.
But I can at least walk myself, and he'll stand up, kind of shaky for a second, gain his footing, and then push off the wall, up to his feet. Oh, before we get your group back to the visitor center and begin to, we're not going to go much longer. Since we don't have the time constraint of Jose right now, I'm going to give us about 20 more minutes just so we can get a bit more time in today, because I did want to get y'all a bit further in, but I was having a lot of fun with the lore and stuff. And that's okay with you guys, of course. I'm not going to keep y'all beyond 10:40 at the latest, of course, but I do want to listen to 10:30 for this one. I know we usually stop at 10, but I'm feeling a little quirky today. But before we get your group back to the visitor center, Nasir.
Oh.
You spot.
What?
Not your friend Alexi. You spot the other Alexi that you had spoken to on the plane, and the woman that you would know to be an art purchasing agent, Danielle. Some are together walking out of the building right now, heading out into the streets. They look to be happy to see something right now, but you can't really hear too much. But they are kind of parted up, heading out the building right now at this current time. And you do not see either of them with Miss Wilder, her son, at the moment. They're probably somewhere else, you can guess.
Do they look like they're in a hurry or something?
No, they're just casually walking, like chatting while they walk.
Yeah, I'll go over. I'll say something. I'll wave at them and walk over.
I also would say you would have been told before I forgot. You would have been told before you did, of course. You would have been told from the person at the front desk that there's a note left for your group, that your friends read it, and then left in a hurry, and mentioned something about Lucian and why would he leave a letter if he was, somewhere nearby or in the city, and a bunch of other stuff. And they went to look at a map and then all left out walking somewhere.
Okay, so I probably shouldn't get distracted at this point in time. I probably assume.
We don't know where they went because they took the note card with them that has Lucian's address, but you would know that all of them went out to go look for Lucian. It looks like in a relative speed hurry, like they were walking with purpose.
I saw them walk with purpose?
No, you didn't see them, but you would have heard from the clerk at the front desk. That they got the letter, read it, said, Lucian, why would he leave a letter if he's in the city? Went to the map and went, he's only a few blocks away, and then they all, with purpose left the building with what you were told.
They're fine.
But yeah, you walk up to other Alexi and Danielle. Lexi's doing waves as you walk up. They both kind of stop.
Yeah, how are you both doing? How is Adamos treating you?
It has been a very great experience so far. We're actually heading out to go look for art to buy.
Art to buy?
Yes, Danielle apparently buys art for anyone that wants to get art back from any of art from here back in Gaspillage, but I'm looking for art as well, just for my own personal likings, like old historical pieces or culturally important pieces that some might have drawn that I can also have for just myself. I like to collect a lot of things.
Where's Danielle from?
Danielle is a Gassian art purchasing agent. They are usually hired by people to help them buy art, and they pay them back in either increments or in one lump sum. It's kind of like getting a loan. You kind of get a loan from these people. Like the art agents have funds they can use to help you buy art that you can't afford on your own in one lump sum payment, and then you kind of just pay them back in increments, depending.
Oh, how wonderful. When they could just be leaving our stuff alone. I will.
But then
do I know where they'd be buying or where they'd be going? Do I know a place nearby?
Most people that sell art here are private vendors. There's no public art purchasing gallery in Eremos, or in Petrid at the very least.
Nice. Alright, I'll ask then. Yeah, where are you going?
Danielle said that they have word around the grapevine of a very peculiar painter that does lots of astrological pieces.
Oh, tell me more.
They're not telling me much. They said that to see when I get there. They said they've not purchased from them before, but heard from other people that have been in Eremos, but read about this person. You're from Eremos, of course. I don't know I'm talking like you're not from here. It is a...
Well, I've been away for a while.
The painter is named Talim Shea. They are very interested in these sorts of pieces that... They paint these very beautiful pieces, I'm told, and I'd like to at least have something from this trip to bring back to my home.
Yes, is this a private thing? Can I tag along?
If you'd like, of course.
Well, then I've invited myself. Let's go.
The three of you begin to walk out and say, "Oh, don't eat that." Like across the road, how you see at different stoplights, like across the street. You would see across the street and see your group heading back from a different street together towards the visitor center, while you're heading the opposite direction of them towards the gyro ward.
I see Lucian slung over someone's shoulder.
No, Lucian's awake now, but Lucian looks fucked up. Like you can see even from on the street, like his face is a little swollen. He's like a bit of dried blood. He didn't get fully off his shirt. Is still there. And those of you across the street also would see Nasir, the other Alexi, and the art purchasing agent Danielle Sum across the street, heading the opposite direction of you guys right now.
Yeah, I'm on vacation. What are y'all up to? I make should I come over? Vibes? Eyes? Do y'all need me?
I would probably say we know where Vincent's going.
You're just yelling that across the... How close are we, actually?
It's like 30 feet. It's like not like an actual intersection like that, but it's like that kind of vibe. Like they're across the street, you're across the street, you're both going opposite ways, you're waiting for someone to pass first so you can cross before the car hits you, like that kind of thing.
She's motion, right?
Yeah. The serious motion.
I would probably ask them, what's your pronouns?
Nasir's a boy.
Not a man, a boy.
Child.
Nasir's a boy in a man's world.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant.
But yeah.
I would be like, Nasir, can you secure us a car? Something to drive.
Can I secure you a car? Why would you need one?
Alexi's like...
You know where Vincent's going.
Alexi will kind of... Before you all that stuff said, as you're kind of being to talk to them, he'll be like, we'll just catch up when you come back from with them or whatever.
Yes, I'll be right there. 1 minute.
And they're going to keep walking. We're just going to stop at the coffee shop up the road, and they're going to keep walking. You see a little...
Secure your car? What do you need a car for in this area?
He's going to the Sunken Dunes.
I don't think he's going to make it there. The security's up, so it's not going to make it very easy.
Do you think he's not going to shoot them on his way through?
Do you think he's going to shoot them on his way through? Is that what you're saying?
Probably. I don't know.
What is he done? Is he a murderer? Or have we
shot shit out of Lucian?
Well, that's not a murder thing. You know, he's a very violent man himself. It might even have been self-defense. Is he a violent guy? Does he seem like the
Other than the first meeting, Lucian's just very standoffish typically. Besides the first meeting, he was very aggressive and violent. But since then, he's just been more standoffish than anything.
Oh no! Listen, I've made my opinion about Lucian. He's a crazy dude. There's nothing. Yeah.
Vincent.
Yeah.
From how he spoke, he didn't seem violent. I mean, his crew had him and his entire crew were armed with slug throwers, but none of them shot anyone.
Yeah, I mean, we walked out of that the interaction, pretty well.
I think the most you could gather about violence was when they attacked the art gallery. They fought with the security that was there to get the piece from the gallery, but beyond that, they didn't kill anyone that was there. They knocked them the fuck out, took the piece, and ran.
They're still going to use violence.
That's maybe. But are they even here? How fast is the ship? Should we do the mass? Can you do the mass?
Listen, go. They're already in the city. I met them this morning. That's why my nose and face are fucked up.
Oh shit. Well, how far away are the sinking dunes? And would a car even be useful in this?
You guys don't use cars here. You have vehicles for those. There's options, of course. You can get the slowest option, a camel sled. It's just two camels that pull a mesh-covered cart.
I ain't fucking with camels.
Caramels, my beloved.
Option 2, the dune treaders. They're like long, flat vehicles that have almost think like dune buggies, but a lot lower to the ground, and they use omnidirectional treads instead of tires.
Those are probably expensive, though, right? Is it like the only way to get to the sinking dunes?
Not the only way, but it is the fastest way.
We have a Nepo baby in our party.
Option 3, the chem carriage. Only good, really, on paved roads, but is technically the fastest option. You do have a Nepo baby. You do have Cosmina here. This is true. I am sure Shah wouldn't mind coughing up a couple hundred cards to rent a dune treader. Or 2, because they only hold... Oh, no, yeah, they can hold all of you. They hold 10 people.
Oh, nice. Damn.
Yeah, when I say long, flat, they are long, flat vehicles.
Cool. I'll,
However, in renting one, you might need a driver as well, or some kind of person that can handle the travel stuff, like travel part for you, because you do need to be a trained or experienced user of the vehicle because it has those omnidirectional treads. They're not something just anyone can use.
Cool. I'll explain to Alexi that we don't really have cars here, and I'll be like, but it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to find somebody. So we would have to rent the vehicle, and then also a driver, and then now we have another unrelated party, and just in our business.
Okay.
Is there a way to just walk?
Up.
Hello.
I am built for the cold. I ain't built for the heat.
Listen, I'm not
travel all night.
Travel all night.
Travel at night.
Travel at oh.
Oh,
It is scald. So the weather here is almost reversed in the desert. It is scalding at night. You want to travel during the day at best when it's still like a bit hot and mucky.
It's kind of like on.
I'm sorry. Did you say travel during the day?
Is this a dry swamp?
It is. Let me describe it. Let's see how the best I can describe this to you guys. It is.
I remember we talked about this.
We did. We talked about this last session. And I'm gonna pull up right now so I can remember the word we used for this. The word that was used to describe this desert. 1 second, because everyone got on my fucking back about it because I called it humid last time.
Again now. You say it's hotter at night.
It is. The days are very foggy and clammy. The nights are blisteringly hot. It does not rain here during this time of year, at the very least. Rain, I don't think it rains at all. At the very least, though, definitely not this time of year. But at night, it is hot, hot, hot. We got it. Hot chocolate, hot at night.
Does it have a rainy season, Gabe?
What was that question, Mason?
Does it have a rainy season?
Let me check. Let's check. Where are my notes at?
Good question.
The only rain it gets is the tears of children.
I have not seen a single child in this game.
You know?
They're not real.
Kind of. Only in the winter, though.
In the winter?
Children?
Yeah. No, when it rains. And it only rains. It only rains because that's the one point of the year when there's not the sun constantly overhead, so all the moisture that's been accumulated begins to fall back down because it's not instantly evaporating.
Alaska.
Would you say it gets more than 10 inches precipitation a year?
I don't know that much. I didn't go that far into it. I'm sorry. That's too much for me. I'm sorry. I didn't go that far into it.
If it does, then it's not a desert, DM.
Then it doesn't, because I'm based.
We're not here for geological accuracy.
Anyways.
We're here to kill sand monkeys.
Nasir.
Whoa.
Because Nasir, because Naomi's interested in the new continent that exists, the new peoples that exist, Nasir would remember there is a travel / exploration agency that you can hire. They're not from Eremos in particular. They're from Suwala, but they are a group you can hire that is known to do expeditions, and they are called. So since Suwala is a whole different place, they have their own dialects and accents. They're more French and West African in terms of how I handled their cultural bring up. This little agency you would know of, Nasir, that is in that sometimes you can find in Petrita, is called Paradise Portois, which is just paradise for you. That's all it means. Just paradise for you is all it is.
Yeah, paradise and then like nonsense.
Paradise Portois.
Oh, that's French.
Yeah, they specialize in travel and exploration. They're experts in primarily travel, but they do come with less than sturdy equipment tools that are meant for like a vacation type things. But they do take care of all the food and the itinerary. All you have to do is pay them for the actual. Yeah, all you have to do is pay them for. It depends on the distance and duration of travel, and all you have to pay for that part. And they do offer traveler's insurance. If you pay them, they will handle travel insurance if you pay them, which will cover all your medical uses and expenses for equipment.
Oh, shit.
So you implied that medical expenses here are bad enough that you need insurance for them.
In Eremos, you can fucking die in like one day. Yes, they're bad.
Okay. And?
You're right. My fault, OG.
Rooney in the desert. We're gonna get all pruny.
So, what would you all care to do in that case? With this information that Nasir you have, and this knowledge that Vincent's group has already left, what would you all care to do?
I want to go for Vincent no matter what. but I also don't know anything about this place at all.
Yeah, I'll explain how the Paradise services work. I'll point him in the right direction, and then I'll say, once you get that settled, come and find me. I'll be... Where am I gonna be? Did they tell me where we're going, or am I
No,
following?
you're just following Danielle, because that's who Alexi is following.
Alright, I'll be back soon. Tell me when I get back.
Alright, you guys. Ironically enough, since you're in the egress road, which is where all the traveling tourists go, you would find Paradise Portois like a block over in this direction, a block or two over this direction, near the visitors center still, because that is where a lot of the travelers go to.
Katrina, open that pocket.
Entering, you'd find... I'm going to have her send money, because she's already making it, so she's got to cough up the coin. She's not here. You'd find the person that runs this goes, welcome to Paradise Portois. How can I help your group?
Ew.
Come on.
What are you looking for? I speak Mother Small, and I speak Kodukel, whatever language works for you. I can speak.
Okay, speaks Kodukel. Sweet. We would like to take a trip to the Thunder Dunes.
The Sinking Dunes, and this is for how many people exactly, and for how long?
Me trying to count.
Technically, it'd be 9 of you. We're going by the full numbers.
9?
9 people, no problem. And this is for how long?
How long should we say?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks.
Do you have like an exact location you want to go to? And you do have the picture that you found in the lighthouse.
Probably the picture.
Okay, that would be about 2,700 miles. So that will put you at oh, hang on. I gotta pull up the miles per hour of the thingy. There goes that thing. Okay, that will bring it to... Fuck off my screen. I'll hurt you, bitch.
Thanks.
Sorry. That will be about 9-day travel to get there, and you're just planning to go there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But like 2, 4, 6, a whole week.
Alexi is not... has no idea.
I mean, the whole group is there. Anyone can answer. You're all there, except for Nasir, of course.
Please help me.
Point to point.
What was the question? Hello, what is that, sir? So I cannot hear you. What was the question?
I think what we need 2 days, maybe 2 days, 3 days, and point to point or a round trip.
We can do both. If you want both, if you want point to point, then we can do that. If you just want a round trip, we can do that. It is personal preference.
I think round trip. We would like your expertise getting back.
Okay. Sinking dunes too is going to be a problem. So we're going to take on doing 100 miles. The people don't matter. Are you getting the medical insurance also? We can increase the price to cover your medical and equipment, or you can just go as you are.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, it will be that. And tell it to 50 kills, 55. Okay. The total will be for round trip. That's not right. Wrong number. I did the wrong number there. That's okay. That's why I fucked that up.
Do you have any? We're actually
550 cards for round trip.
A look at Kazmina.
Kazmina goes, thumbs up. Yes, I can pay for that. Oh, she can pay for that.
I was gonna say 150 is really
She got like 600 from her dad before she left.
Yeah, that's
she still has 340 cards left after paying for this.
Dang.
And you add, I forgot, you're adding on the insurance per person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And this is the travel, not an expo. This would be expedition prices, so you have to be the 550. So if you're adding on for 9 people, I'm not gonna make sure I pay for this part as well. Someone wants to pay for the travel insurance. It'd be $225, but they'll give you a discount for $200 because there's so many of you going.
How much I have? I'll throw in.
But yeah,
I'll throw in 75 cards.
I can do 50.
Okay. We only need 75 more cards to cover this. Who's forking it over? Doom! I look over at Christian. Doctor?
How many more cards?
75 more.
Yeah, I just got done subtracting for the sake of my items I bought.
You have enough for that? I mean, if you don't got enough, I'm pretty sure. I think Drew has money too.
How much does Drew have? I need to know that real quick.
Oh, not a lot. Never mind. Not a lot. He's got 100 total.
That's fucking nothing.
I dropped my down. I'm down to 50 now after giving my 75.
I'll give you peasants a fraction of my money.
God damn it.
500 right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I have got 80. I got 38 cards.
50. 75. So I'm at 412 still.
All right.
That was after buying the crossbow.
So, with that, hand it over. He goes, all right, we will cover your medical, we'll cover your equipment, we'll cover your food. This will cover your food, your medical, your travel round trip. 9 days there. We will camp out as long as you want, but no more than a week. Just for the safety of the crew and the heat out there, and then we return.
Should be okay.
Good, good. It'll just be me and one other person handling this trip because it is just going to be. You see, there are 9 of you. It'll just be one Dune Twitter for all of us. My friend will ride on the back. If you have any luggage, they can go in the side carriages for it. And we will leave. When do you want to leave? We can leave as early as look at the clock. 5 p.m. at the earliest.
As soon as possible.
So 5 p.m. So we'll be back here in 3 hours, no later.
Sounds good.
And he'll take your names down, and as soon as he gets your names down and takes the funding, he'll walk back, call to everyone else in the building, and they begin. They start moving at like speed. Like you see, like 10 people in this building begin to rush around and start getting stuff prepared for the trip.
Okay.
Oh man, I want to go. I want to keep going.
Come on, back. Go back.
I want to keep going. I want to keep playing.
There's another game. There's another day.
I know. I got to
lock in.
No, wait.
2 weeks, boy. 2 weeks.
I got one thing I want to do before we end it. I got one. I just want to finish the travel. I just want to finish the travel, guys. Come on.
No.
I just want to get you the dunes, guys. Come on. Yeah, you know I'm good for it. You know I'm good for it. I just want to get you through the dunes.
Things before the dunes.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
We have a discussion we have to have.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I haven't had any time in this city.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm fiending. I was fiending for it. Let me put in this.
Combat. Let's combat soon, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta get in the seer jump by 5 mobsters in an alleyway.
Please no.
There you go.
Based, actually. Can we keep going tonight? Right now?
No.
So, with you all exiting Paradise Portois and with Nasir, you find yourself heading towards. Let me make sure I get this right for location before I wrap this up. I lost it. Where we go? I'm in the wrong area. Eremos, Patrita.
Eremos.
You find yourself heading back towards the Menage ward. So we've time by like you, Alexei, and Danielle arrive at the Menage ward and enter, being led by Danielle to the Patridin Remedial Chamber, which is of course is the place where they handle the most physically and mentally ill people they have. Because this is where they do all their best medical practices in this building. There's a lot of, to your knowledge, Nasir, they aerosolize a lot of different concoctions and medicines almost to like let it sink into the skin beyond just other treatments. So there's like a constant air of like medical herbs and healing going around in this building. There's just these different chemicals that kind of clean the skin, cleanse bits of bacteria, you know, all that kind of thing that kind of help general health while also doing their own practices. And as you begin entering here, Alexi's like, this is not French, holy shit. Not French again, I can't, she's not French. She's... This is a peculiar place. I'm still French. Bonjour!
The aggressive French speech really hurts me, I'm just gonna be honest with you.
This is an interesting... Still French, fuck it! God damn it, I'm French for the day now! Nasir, Alexi didn't say a damn word.
Say vodka. Say vodka. Over and over and over again.
No, not you, not you, Lexi. The other Lexi has a...
No, I know.
Vodka.
It helps.
I'm gonna have Danielle talk until I get the other Alexi's voice back. Because
No.
Danielle will look to you all. Look at the two of you as you walk in and say, Mr. Talim Shea should be here in this building, from what I've been told by my sources. And as you...
He's, who?
From what I've been told, he is insanely ill. And I mean that in a literal sense, he is insane. But the paintings he creates are... You have to see them for yourself. She talks to the person at the front desk for a moment, and you all are escorted by one of the attendants here down one of the halls, and you find yourself brought to a room well lit, like there's no shadow in this room, padded, but there are easels and canvases and splattered paint and buckets and brushes littered all across the room. And you see a man who looks older, late 40s, early 50s maybe. Hair still, while wild, is not... The hair of an insane man is not what you see. It's not like patchy, and his hair is still there, though it's wild and ungroomed. Full beard and long mustache done on his face. You see him swipe the brush across the canvas repeatedly, and you watch this one corner slowly go from this. It's going from a gradient dark to lighter grays as you see the top half of a moon being painted. And his eyes, as he turns back, looking to you all wildly, there's just something not right about them. They kind of dart over one of his paintings and then back to you, and then back his canvas and back to you, and your eyes begin to wander, and you catch a insanely detailed finger painting of a clear night sky. Insanely detailed. Why is it so detailed, Nasir? And where's that odd glow you can almost feel coming from it, as if you're looking at the night sky in this very moment?
Please don't.
You're drawn in as you stare unwittingly for a moment too long before Lexi goes, "This is exactly who I've been looking for." And that's for tonight's session.
Okay.
And I need a sanity check this year. You thought I need a sanity check this year. You thought for 1 second. Charisma sanity check, please. You really didn't think, did you, that I was gonna have yeah, you really thought for a second? Yeah, no. You do the fucking sanity check. You thought I'd say all that shit and have you roll? Give me a fucking sanity check.
He's just a guy. He's just some guy.
No, it's just a painting.
It's just a painting.
There's a painting.
Where's Sanity?
I will say this name has been mentioned before, at least to Group 2's knowledge.
Yes.
And I mean like a long, long time ago. I think this was the first. I think the first sanity check ever made involved a painting by this guy, actually.
Yep. It was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's for
broke into
those
that.
two.
What do I roll for sanity?
Charisma, please.
Oh god.
Charisma. Mine have been wisdom. You're a bitch.
They change depending on what you're going through.
Hang up your bitch. I know.
But yeah. That. The coin.
My Naomi always be rolling privately.
I don't know how to turn it off. I didn't know I was doing that.
I'm sorry, Naomi. That's 2 failures.
No, what do you mean?
I rolled the D2. I flipped a coin. To see the severity of this particular painting, that is going to be 2 sanity
I'm not
failures.
going to say what I was going to say.